Big Ten title since 1947.
Is there a better freshman in the Big Ten than Rick Rickard?
Go IU! Beat State! Go IU! Beat State!
Detroit Lions!
The Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis for the first time. Conseco Fieldhouse decide for today's quarterfinals, in game one, as you might expect, is a rather hot ticket in the Hoosier State. The third meeting of the year between all-conference sophomores Jared Jeffries, the Big Ten Player of the Year, and Marcus Taylor, as hot as just about anybody in the country at the moment. As four-time defending Big Ten champion Michigan State takes on 22nd ranked co-champion, one of the four co-champions in this year's regular season, Indiana. Championship week presented by 7-Up rolls on. After this matchup, top seed Wisconsin takes on Iowa, and in tonight's doubleheader, it's Ohio State, Michigan, followed by Illinois and Minnesota. Welcome to Indianapolis. Dave Barnett and Quinn Buckner. This may be as good a matchup as we see in all 4 days of the tournament this year, and it may depend for Indiana on the condition of a very weak, questionable ankle that Jared Jeffries has been bothered by for several days now.
Well, he has been bothered. In the 5 games he played, he averaged just under 9 points. When he was healthy, the previous 18 games, he was averaging 18 points a game. He causes for a double team to happen. When that happens for the Hoosiers, that allows their three-point shooting to be that much more effective.
Mike Davis has brought Indiana a share of its first championship in 9 years and has split his first 4 meetings with Michigan State. He goes with this lineup: Senior Layden, Tom Coverdale, Dane Fife, Kyle Hornsby, with Jeffries and Jared Odell. And Tom Izzo, in his 7th year, coming off 3 consecutive Final Four appearances. And for one of the few times in the regular season, he has this lineup healthy enough to start together. They are 9-0 as a group this year. Anaganye, Anderson, Ballinger, Torbert, and Taylor. Marcus was unstoppable over the last week of the season. His final 2 games, in fact, he had career highs: 32 at Ohio State, 34 in the final game of the year against Iowa. Ed Hightower, Gene Monge, Randy Drury officiate this contest, and Michigan State controls the opening tip.
Well, one of the things that has been really strong for Indiana is their ability to guard, play defensively, and we'll see how well that pans out in this contest.
Dane Fife draws the Marcus Taylor assignment. Co-defensive player of the year is Fife, along with Travaris Bennett of Minnesota.
That's a nice move by Mike Davis to put some pressure on the ball handling of Michigan State. They get a steal.
Tom Coverdale, who charges into Alan Anderson.
Well, you get the ball on the turnover. You don't want to turn it over yourself. Coverdale tries to stop and go. Contact made. Anderson goes down. Foul Coverdale.
These two split the regular season meetings. Coverdale in the Indiana win had about as good a shooting day as anybody's had in the Big Ten all year. They won 83-65. First half, he didn't miss anything. In fact, he didn't even hit the rim. And had a half dozen three-pointers. Adam Ballinger hits the back of the rim, and Jared Odell will pull down the board.
Pretty solid defense. I'm watching Jared Jeffries run up and down the court. Anaganye will have him on the post. Jeffries has the advantage once he steps outside.
Coverdale going baseline against Taylor. And another Ballinger rebound. Starting a Michigan State fast break, Kelvin Torbert, National High School Player of the Year last year. Out of Flint. They power inside with Anaganye, and neither team can hit some pretty high percentage shots here in the first minute and a half.
You can expect a lot of anxiety here. I mean, this is the biggest game that both of them had, with as much at stake all year.
Jeffries bringing it up high to Fife, tried to get it down low to Odell.
I mean, I expect it to be a physical game. That's the nature of the way Michigan State plays. You see him right there, hit, and another hit on Jared Jeffries. Jeffrey does a nice job going straight up. Anaganye couldn't finish it.
With 3 turnovers, and Combined 0 for 3 shooting in the first 2 minutes by these two teams. 4 and 5 seeds coming in. Straight on 3, Marcus Taylor.
With pressure from Coverdale off the screen and roll, Marcus Taylor seemingly continuing where he's been the last couple of games. A little warm.
He ended up, in fact, with that late surge, leading in conference games only all Big Ten scorers. Just under 18 points per game. Also led in assists, and the first player since Andre Woolridge for Iowa in 1997 to lead both those categories in conference play. Here's Odell, and by far his best year, the senior from Swayze, Indiana, with just his second three-pointer of the year.
Good read, nice timing in terms of getting him free to knock down the shot.
Corbett misses and rebounded by Kyle Hornsby. One of the top three-point shooters in the league. Indiana can throw out multiple three-point threats, multiple shot blockers. They can get inside scoring from Jeffries and Odell. Coverdale on the penetration puts them up.
Nice tough play by Coverdale to get through traffic and get it down.
Quickly, Michigan State gets Anderson down, and Odell there to draw the offensive foul on Anderson, as he did a minute ago against Coverdale.
I agree with Tom Izzo. That's a tough one to make. But on the other end, his team has got to do a better job shutting down the middle as Coverdale exploits that inability to get to the rack.
Coverdale and Bloomington, 22 points, 20 in the first half with 6 3-pointers.
Really got the team off to a quick start, and you make three-pointers, and now you start worrying about people on the perimeter. It opens up the inside game.
Jeffries. Ballinger had a hand on that attempted reverse as he and Anagonier doubled Jeffries pretty effectively. Running one-hander off the glass.
Oh my goodness. Stop and go. Throw it high off the glass. Young fella is feeling it. That's a tough play to make, Dave, because the problem is where you have to shoot it off the glass and you're moving, so you've got to find a spot and loft it just soft enough to kiss it and let it come down.
The kiss, and he's got all 5 for Michigan State. Now Dane Fife, far and away his best scoring year. Odell expected a shot by Fife and not a pass, and it's the third Hoosier turnover.
It was actually the right play to make the pass, just couldn't handle the ball.
Anagonier battled foul difficulties all year. Effective when he's able to stay away from early foul trouble.
Fife doing a good job on Taylor.
Now into the corner, and Ballinger a hand on the rebound. It comes down to Dane Fife. Coverdale across. Hornsby with a 3.
You got to get there because he can. That's the one thing he does extremely well is catch and shoot it, even from three-point range.
Conference games only. Nobody did it better than Hornsby. 50% during Big Ten play. Taylor throwing it away, intended for Anagonier. And not quite 5 minutes into it, Tom Izzo and Mike Davis have what they expected. Hotly contested, three-pointers flying both ways. Hornsby has given Indiana the early lead.
ESPN and ESPN2, home of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship.
Introducing the Isuzu Axiom. It says sexy city style. It has a V6 with 230 horses. Giddy up. Leather trim seats, smooth and supple. Plenty of cargo space, too. And America's longest and sexiest warranty. The Isuzu Axiom. You want one, don't you?
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
What would it be worth to wake up in a great mood?
I'm in a great mood.
Because you had a good night's sleep.
I slept like a baby.
In a nice, comfortable room.
What a room, yeah.
How about 10% off?
Hey, I like that 10%.
With Super 8's VIP card, it's yours, guaranteed.
VIP, that's me.
At over 1,900 locations. Clean, friendly Super 8.
Clean, friendly, yeah.
Super 8, all the room you want.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried Extra Strength Rolaids, you're in for a new experience. It's fruity, creamy, smooth, A new test-proof extra-strength Rolaids has the taste even Tums can't beat. And it's fast. Extra-strength Rolaids quickly neutralizes 21% more stomach acid than Tums DX. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief with a taste that can't be beat.
The two best three-point shooting teams in the Big Ten this year, showing why early. Taylor, all 5 from Michigan State, but Tom Izzo has seen Odell and Hornsby get open for 3.
And he is really disappointed in the fact that they didn't cover Hornsby, particularly in the fast break situation, because I saw him screaming that you got to get there. It was Kelvin Tolbert who didn't get it there on that play. But as you said, Indiana, an outstanding three-point shooting team.
And Kyle Hornsby has them on top 8-5. 5 minutes into it. First of our 4 quarterfinals, Conseco Fieldhouse. Packed, 18,500 expected for all the sessions today. Just under capacity yesterday.
You know, I'll tell you what, how disappointed Tom Izzo was. He made substitutions. He got Andreas in, and he got Kelvin Tolbert out of the game as well. So
Chris Hill is in. So is Tim Bograkis. Just underway in the first quarterfinal. Day 2, Big Ten tournament with 4-time defending champion Michigan State coming off 3 consecutive Final Four appearances and a hot finish, 5 straight wins to close the regular season, but the number 5 seed is winless in the first 4 years of this tournament as Chris Hill, one of the 3 freshmen who have contributed so much for the Spartans, comes right in and hits off the bench.
Pretty smooth as a freshman. He was 3rd in the Big Ten in scoring as a freshman scoring. Very confident in his ability to get it in the basket.
Odell expecting that pass from Fife. And the jump shot way off with a rebound foul. Jason Andreas, 6'10" sophomore.
Andreas gets the ball to Hill. You see, he pulls up very comfortably. That's a tough shot to make. You get that 8 to 10 footer. Though the range looks comfortable, it's one where you don't fully extend within your real snap it in your wrist. He's able to knock it down. You can see from three-point line, 4th, 45%.
And Hill, one of only 3 Big Ten players who get to play this tournament in their hometown. He's from Indianapolis Lawrence North High School. Scramble for the loose ball. Jeffries leading Andreas to it. Hornsby up with another 3-point try. And Andreas holding off Jeff Newton for the one-hand rebound. That's traveling.
Oh, you think?
Championship week presented by 7-Up continues today and tonight in the Conagra Foods Big East Championship from Madison Square Garden. Semifinal matchups tonight begin at 7 on ESPN. Pittsburgh, Miami, followed by UConn, Notre Dame, and the championship tomorrow at 8 Eastern. Both teams 3 or 7 from the field. Both have turned it over 4 times.
That's partially blocked.
Coverdale blocked by Taylor. Jeffries comes down with it. Misses badly. Way long and down to Ballinger. Michigan State looking to run.
But they're playing Michigan State's game. There's 2 things Michigan State can do. They can defend you. They rebound the ball. And the other thing that's been added that I thought you and I talked to Tom Izzo about, they run a lot better, and that means a lot smarter in terms of taking advantage of opportunities.
Chris Hill, 2 for 2 off the bench. 3-pointer. Dane Fife, his 53rd 3-pointer this year. He had 33 his first 3 years combined and discovered some confidence and that ability late in his career at Indiana, but not too late. Air ball, Andreas.
That's because Jeffries made the shot go over the rim. He didn't block it. He just did a good job of being there.
Jeffries from Coverdale, his first 2. Indiana by 4. And every starter now for IU with a bucket. Fife swatting that one away from Andreas, and a hustling save as he falls out of bounds by Coverdale.
Great effort. That was a foul on the play that they didn't call, but the effort by Coverdale was exceptional.
And a definite home state advantage right now for the Hoosiers. Some Michigan State fans, but not nearly as many as in red and white as we would expect. Reversal, Coverdale. He started the possession with that save, finishes, putting Indiana up 6. Hit miss by Ballinger.
Tough shots now. You take them too fast, you can't get your defense in place. That's why Mike Davis is telling his club to slow down. Coverdale's made 2 very good plays on both sides of the ball.
Michigan State had 2 high-scoring games into the regular year, 81 and 93 points, shot 55% in those 2. Just 36% to start this one. O'Brackus, walk on, out on Fife. Getting loose for the lay-in is Newton.
Nice job. It looked like Coverdale able to find that. This is a nice timeout by Tom Izzo because IU is cutting up their defense.
Tom Coverdale making it happen on both ends of the floor for Indiana.
Good effort there to go down to get it. His ability to get around and make plays, stop and go. Nice job that time getting around the defense. He's been a great leader for him. He makes the pass here to get Newton to the basket. Coverdale has been the guy that has propelled his team right now to this 8-point lead, just making solid plays.
4 assists by Coverdale already. He's got 4 points. Indiana has a 9-0 run. And the junior from Noblesville, Indiana, has been the spearhead. The Mr. Basketball Award winner for Indiana high schoolers 4 years ago. Second team All Big Ten selection this year.
Watch right here. Coverdale gets the ball. He drives middle, and he's been scoring so well, you got to come help. Andrus comes too late to get to Newton. Just a nice read, and he was dead tired. That's why the timeout was appropriate. I mean, he was winded because he's expended a burst of energy in a short period of time.
So he's replaced by Donald Perry, freshman from Louisiana. Michigan State, after the timeout, will try to end this Indiana run, which has gone on now for 2 minutes. Not that way, though. Anaganye dribbles it on the end line.
He dribbled it on the end line because he was trying to get it up. Indiana, the best shot blocking team in the conference.
Under 11 minutes, first half. 8-point lead for the Hoosiers. You will direct your attention.
I wonder how many of them are ready for the day when they head home for retirement. If they're TD Waterhouse customers, chances are they're prepared. Because TD Waterhouse has an online retirement planner along with retirement specialists at all their branches. It's time you checked in at TD Waterhouse before you head home for work and close shop for good.
Open an IRA and get a 1-year subscription to Money Magazine. TD Waterhouse, you're in control.
ESPN goes to Washington. From the congressional steps to the White House lawn, ESPN tackles the nation's capital. Join the party at Sports Center, ESPN Radio, ESPNClassic.com, ESPN the magazine, and the truck roll into town to celebrate top DC athletes, coaches, and legends. And PTI, which originates from DC, will have some surprise political guests each day. ESPN goes to Washington, presented by Budweiser, March 11th through 13th.
Adolphus Busch started making Budweiser 125 years ago.
He purposely brewed Budweiser as a smooth, refreshing, premium lager. 5 generations later, we couldn't be more proud to be America's favorite beer.
Let me pour one.
This Bud's for you. And you and you and you. This Bud's for you. And you and you and you. This Bud's for you.
We're watching Tom Coverdale during the timeout, and he came out maybe not just because he had expended so much energy in this burst, but he may also be either injured or ill. We're not real sure at the moment.
Well, I tell you what, he lays out for that one, but he's right here to the left. He's right there with the 2 team doctors. That's Dr. Larry Rink in the red coat and Dr. Steve Offeld, who's with him, and the one with his arm on him, Dr. Rink, is more of an internist, so we'll see how he's doing.
Well, for the time being, he'll rest. Indiana with a 9-0 run. They've hit their last 4 shots, in Michigan State just 4 out of 11 for the game. Ain Fife swinging it low down to Jared Jeffries. Up over Anaganye. Torbert sends a rebound out to Hill. Now Anderson. They have all 3 of the freshmen On the floor together. Hill barely drawing iron. Torbert rejected and fouled on the follow.
Got the rebound. But I'm telling you, he tried to get it back up and got hurt the way it was coming up. Jeff Newton's on the backside. They get him for a call. Look clean on top. Underneath may have been some contact. Torbert gets a chance to get off the snide.
Whatever it was bothering Coverdale. Not serious enough to keep him out very long. He'll give Fife his first breather. It may just have been that he shook himself up on that dive to save the loose ball. Maybe. Torbert, fourth McDonald's All-American in a 3-year span, recruited by Tom Izzo. He, with the free throws, cuts the lead back to 6. Averaged just under 9 points per game. All 11 of these Spartan points have come from their backcourt. The front court, 0 for 5. Very young team right now, Quinn, for Tom Izzo on the floor to try and cut into this Indiana lead.
Well, that's been a little bit of the problem he's had to deal with all year. They've been young and they don't know exactly how to get some things done. That's a basket interference. That can't count. But and Indiana has some experience, and when you get it, you just have to take advantage of it. Now, you'll take a look here. Just watch the rim. Is it still anywhere on the cylinder? Clearly.
Yep.
And right there, touched by Jeffries.
Andy Drury makes the correct call, keeps it 17-11. Jeffries knocking that pass away from Antigone. Taylor there to pick it up, missed the 2. Oh, 3-on-1 break. It's Newton, not used to triggering very many fast breaks. And they'll call the reach over there right in front of the Michigan State bench.
But more impressive was the fact that he was able to outrun the guards to get the ball.
Taylor commits his first foul. Mike Davis, a chance to become the first Indiana coach to win 20 games in each of his first 2 seasons. Both these teams 19-10 coming in.
Oh, good play.
Great extra pass, and Jeffries unable to finish. Set up perfectly by Jeff Newton. 4-on-2 break the other way. And stolen right back from Coverdale by Anderson and counted.
That's Tom Izzo kind of basketball. After the ball was controlled, A.J. Moyer, number 2, gets called for the foul after the mishandle. But again, the Spartans are trying to push it up. But how about the one Jeffries missed? He's got to be hurt because he normally goes up with that one and tries to finish it strong. You see Coverdale has it and loses it back. Moyer tries to stop Anderson, who makes it.
No 3-point play. Michigan State, the best free-throw shooting team in the conference and 3rd best in the country, 77%. That did break a scoring drought of 3.5 minutes for the Spartans. We're down 17-9, so they have at least slowed Indiana since that timeout.
And they've really not. That's a foul on Antigone. No chance.
And right over the screen set by Tom Coverdale.
I mean, you got to use some good judgment, and that's what Ballinger is telling him. Use good judgment. But here's a situation. You see, he just runs over Coverdale. Coverdale tough enough to take that. Good judgment is if you can't get around the screen, you don't run him over, and particularly not in front of you.
Pick your spot.
Yeah, pick your spot there. Under the basket, maybe.
Perry and Moyer replaced by Fife and Hornsby. Probably what rest the Indiana experienced players get is going to be pretty short. Michigan State does not have the same luxury. Stepping out, Newton. 7th turnover.
Newton gets free before. Watch, he gets the basket, makes a very nice pass. Now, Jeffries normally goes up and just flushes this one. You can see the ball is out of his hands even before he gets above the rim. He misses it. That's the one he's got to put down.
Totally different player than last month with the bad ankle. His numbers before the injury, 18 points, about 9 rebounds per game, and since, about 9.6 boards per game. Only 1 out of 5 from the field in this one as Torbert misfires from the corner. Coverdale pushing Newton. Very chased down by Odell. Jared Odell Air ball, point blank, put back by Newton.
Michigan State does a good job defensively, didn't get to the glass, but the Indiana is staying very, very active. Let's see where they get their scoring from now that Jeffries is off the floor.
Some point, Spartans have got to get some scoring from their front court.
Don't get much unless Ballinger steps out and knocks down a shot, because Gagne is more of a defensive player and a rebounder.
And Gagne taking Odell one-on-one, back rims that one.
You can't get any closer than that.
Nope. Three-pointer fight. His second, Tom Izzo looking at his biggest deficit yet. And another Michigan State turnover. They're 8. Fife. He just hit his 54th three-pointer. Getting it back to Coverdale. Indiana will settle it down with a 9-point lead.
Nice job. Settle it down. See, can you get Coverdale or one of the shooters coming off, and then drop it down if you can.
Shot clock comes into play. It's down to 8. Odell spinning on Ballinger. And fighting for a foul call that will not come. He thought Ballinger got him on the arm. The other way, it's Anderson underneath. Ballinger, count it, and he is fouled by Odell.
I'll tell you who makes the play, though. Anderson makes one heck of a play because he's got to find a way to get into the paint. Mike Davis thinks that he needs some Jared Jeffries. Watch it. This is Anderson. See, he draws Jeffries, and fortunately for Ballinger, he looks for the ball because I thought it was going to go out of bounds, Dave. Right there, because it was back way over there. You see Jared Odell do the only thing he can do. You know, at that point, you really don't want him to get it up, but he fouled him.
So Odell back to the bench. Jeffries returns. First points by Adam Ballinger, who missed that first meeting because of an odd ankle injury. Turned it into practice on an uncontested layup just in a drill, and that cost him 4 games, and a couple others he had to come off the bench. Three-pointers have been a big factor in favor of Indiana early, and they lead with 6:57 in the first half, 22-16.
Yesterday, Marcus Barnes led his team into the semifinals with 27 points. Tonight, the Hurricanes face top-ranked Pitt. The Huskies squeaked past Villanova and now tip off against the Fighting Irish. Championship week presented by 7-Up. Semifinal action tonight.
If he throws an elbow, you hit him in the mouth!
Brian Dennehy is Bobby Knight.
What the hell are you scared of?
A season on the brink. Premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Viewer discretion is strong.
I'm Judy Jones. I'm Judy Jones. Judy Jones. I'm Judy Jones.
Told you. Only works for me.
I'm Judy Jones. Judy Jones.
Ford. Your money, your voice.
Tuesday night on FX. Prepare yourself for the new series that's too intense for network TV.
Your turn to play bad cop?
I'm a different kind of cop.
Get ready for The Shield.
I don't judge other cops.
Mackey's not a cop. He's Al Capone with a badge.
Newsday raves. It takes the great reality of a homicide or Sopranos to a whole nother level. Don't miss the controversial premiere.
The police!
The Shield premieres Tuesday night at 10. Only on FX. Viewer discretion advised.
Big Ten quarterfinals. After this matchup, top-seeded Wisconsin celebrating its first Big Ten championship since 1947. And they take on an Iowa team which blew out Purdue, looked as good as they have in months yesterday. Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota. Tonight, assistant coach Tony Bennett will hope that Wisconsin stays hot. There were 3 teams that came into this tournament on a roll, and the Badgers were one. They won their last 6. Illinois won their last 8, and Michigan State came in with a 5-game winning streak. But at the moment, this one is following the pattern of the meeting 12 days ago with Indiana. Hoosiers at one point led by 16 in that game before falling late. Fife with a 2 to follow up his pair of 3.
And a nice play, too, because he was able to get it up around and down, if you will, in traffic, which is really hard to do because it's hard to figure out your timing.
In Fife, 3 for 3. Bograkis back in, along with Andrius off the bench for Tom Izzo. Chris Hill working against Fife. And forced to give it up. Taylor. Now Bograkis, and 7 to shoot for the Spartans.
Good read.
Jeff Newton reading the eyes of Marcus Taylor.
He knew the shot clock was running down, and you're absolutely right. Just read his eyes.
Baseline drive. Boyer setting up Newton.
Getting some point production off the bench. Moyer good defensively. That time finds the wide open Newton.
Biggest lead of the game. Second straight time Indiana gets a double-figure first half advantage on Michigan State. That other game 12 days ago, they were still up 8 with 8 minutes to play. Up 3 in the final minute. Michigan State hit big shots late and won it 57-54. So they're putting themselves in the same type of hole here late in the first half. 4 on the shot clock. Bograkis.
That time.
Just in time. Hill with a 3.
Dane didn't get out there in time till he went to help.
Michigan State freshman record 62nd three-point basket for Chris Hill.
Michigan State has not been able to find an answer offensively on the inside, so it's allowed Indiana to pretty well defend on the perimeter. That time, Dane Fife just fell asleep as the shot clock was running down.
Indiana getting points inside and out. Michigan State just outside. Fife now 4 for 4.
And loading up on the Spartans.
Only Hoosier to start every game this year. His final year. Senior from Clarkston, Michigan.
Nice job by Jeffries. They were trying to outlet that pass to Andrews. Jeffries got there.
Taylor pull up over Coverdale. Fife there for the board. The Spartans still down around 36% shooting. 55% for the Hoosiers. Biggest surprise, they have a 14-5 rebound lead on the perennial rebounding champions, Michigan State.
Yeah, that's really what's caused them so much trouble. They have Indiana's rebound the ball just better, and they've gotten offensive rebounds when they struggle offensively. Have the Hoosiers.
Coverdale off the glass on the drive, has 6. Indiana by 11. And Michigan State, which had Taylor so hot at the tail end of the regular season, he got an early three-pointer, followed it up with a quick 2, and nothing at all since then for Marcus Taylor. Andrius. Under some pressure guarded by Jeffries.
Well, look where they got the offense. It's
about 30 feet out.
10 seconds, and they backed it up almost to the half-court line.
So it's down to Taylor one-on-one, knocked away by Coverdale. Looks up court, stolen by Hill. Looks like the high school football star he was.
It's that wide receiver, defensive back kind of mentality. That's just understanding timing and your ability to get places.
3-minute mark. And 3 more turnovers than field goals for Michigan State, telling the whole story. Chris Hill called for the elbow. The offensive foul, his first. 2:52 in the half. And about a 90% red and white crowd in Conseco Fieldhouse. Jam-packed for this first quarterfinal. Loving what they've seen from Dane Fife of the Hoosiers.
He's a guy that's been the leader for them on the defensive side of the ball. Co-defensive player of the year. He has not missed a shot now. Boy, he's got his Hoosiers looking good.
A lot of companies put out promotional calendars. Great idea for 7-Up. But instead of models, I decided to use the 7-Up truck drivers. Not that good. Genius. Sexy, kind of.
I'm digital. I'm wireless. I practically drive this company. He's got a pocket protector and drives a minivan. I just don't get it.
Toshiba copiers make you look good.
Introducing the Isuzu Axiom. It says sexy city style. It has a V6 with 230 horses. Giddy up. Leather trim seats, smooth and supple. Plenty of cargo space, too. and America's longest and sexiest warranty. The Isuzu Axiom. You want one, don't you?
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
Okay, good news. That broadband thing we all want? Got it figured out. Honey, you call the phone company. Tracy, you're digging the trench, shovels in the garage. I'm going up on the roof to assess satellite possibilities. Jimmy, check out these schematics. Appreciate it.
Let's go! Run!
We know how you feel, and that's why Circuit City offers one-stop high-speed internet access. You can find what's available where, compare options, and arrange installation. Circuit City, we're with you.
Ah, we can get broadband at Circuit City.
Indiana up 11, 2:52 in the half. Don't forget Sunday night at 8 Eastern. Catch ESPN's presentation of A Season on the Brink. Your discretion strongly advised. ESPN and ESPN2 will present 2 airings, unedited on ESPN and edited with reduced audible adult language on ESPN2. Part of the block, Sunday night, 8 Eastern. 13 of 23 shooting by Indiana. The front court has just not been a part of it at all for Michigan State. Only 7 shots.
And that's why Indiana has been able to do such a good job on the perimeter, because there's nothing inside to worry about. So Indiana challenges you as you turn the corners, and that's what's kept Marcus Taylor from being effective.
James Fife finally misses, and partially blocked that time by Hill. Dive to keep it live by Andreas. And Michigan State also not getting very many transition opportunities.
That's the other thing that they were doing a lot better, and that's the only other place they can get some easy baskets.
And Gagne up high. Andreas coaxes it over the front of the line. 6'10" sophomore from Sugar Creek, Ohio. 30-21.
But you notice how that forces, at least the ball is inside, and Gagne was trying to make a move. That's the reason that Andreas gets the shot free.
Step back jumper. Moyer rattles it back in.
First shot. I don't think that's one that Mike Davis thought should be taken, but it went in.
Over Georgia, Mr. Basketball from Atlanta. First basket for A.J. Moyer. Alan Anderson back. And Gagne still scoreless.
But you see, they're trying to punch it inside. See, Tom Izzo knows if they don't get anything inside, they got no chance to get their jump shooters going.
Gagne count it, and he's fouled by Jared Jeffries. His first.
So now you get a bad. 2 times you go inside with the ball, actually 3. One time they got nothing, but Jared Jeffries trying to guard Andy Gagne. Andy Gagne's got a bigger body and longer arms, and gives a little pump fake and get Jeffries out of position, and they call him for a foul.
6'8", 255, and looked about as chiseled 2 years ago as a freshman as you'll ever see. Double-double in the first meeting. But a lot of those after it was already decided in the blowout win for Indiana. Anna Gagne, by far the most experienced member. Very young freshman-dominated Michigan State team. His 59th career start today, and he gets a 3-point play and gets it within 8.
Well, I think that's the ultimate challenge for Michigan State, is to overcome the youth that they have playing in the game. Indiana's had just about everybody on their team has played in the tough situations, and a little bit more so than Michigan State.
Overcome the youth and the crowd. This is about as loud as Assembly Hall would be with the same score.
There's a lot of red in here, I'll say that.
Hill call for his second. And neither team in the bonus. That's the 6th Michigan State foul. They get Kelvin Tolbert back in, replace Hill, from having 3 at halftime. Michigan State going for its 5th consecutive 20-win season. In Tom Izzo's 7 years as head coach and then 5 more as an assistant, he's been a part of 9 of the 13 20-win seasons in the history of the program. Teams 19 and 10 coming in. Coverdale with that miss in the corner and jockeying for rebounding position. They get Adam Ballinger for contact, his first, and that will put Indiana into the bonus. 7-up halftime report coming up. Bill Pito and David Phelps. Iowa sure looked good yesterday. Can they keep it going today against Wisconsin? The ACC has a full slate today. And the Big East moves into the semifinal round in New York City. We'll run all that down in a minute. As Jeffries hits the front end.
Tom Izzo was trying to lobby to see that Jeffries was the one that put, I believe it was Ballinger in bad position, but you take a look at Jeffries' numbers and the difference in him being healthy and not, and how effective he was in the first game. 21 in that game, 11 in the game right after he had injured his ankle, and hadn't practiced much either.
That's pretty much the effect that the ankles had on every game for Jared. Just about cut his production in half. Injured a month ago tomorrow against Louisville. 40 seconds in the half. Stepping out, Alan Anderson. 12 Michigan State turnovers.
Well, Jared Jeffries is the guy that Tom Izzo has to worry about. I mean, this is an All-American. He's the Big Ten Player of the Year. You can take a look at the numbers. He was averaging just 8 points, a little under 9 with the 5 games with the injury. Before that, 33, 18, averaging also 2 blocks, almost 3 blocks before that happened. Ended up averaging just under 1.
Today, 1 for 5, 3 points, 2 rebounds for Jeffries. 3 seconds difference. And Mike Davis will use a timeout with 16.9 seconds. Davis is finalist for National Coach of the Year with 2 others from the Big Ten, Bill Self of Illinois and Ohio State's Jim O'Brien. Look at the ACC quarterfinals on ESPN and ESPN2. The day session on ESPN, the night session on ESPN2. And currently, Florida State taking on top seed Maryland, followed by NC State, Virginia. Virginia probably needing at least 1 win to solidify their NCAA hopes. And then the doubleheader tonight begins with Duke, North Carolina. Duke going for a 3rd straight blowout of the Tar Heels this year, and then Wake Forest, Georgia Tech to wrap it up at 9:30.
Well, let's hope Virginia needs this one, because they'll have a tough time should they get by the Wolfpack and have to face the Tarleton's pretty good.
This just in, they're pretty good.
No, they're good. Maryland's good.
So, 11 shot clock, 14 first half clock. Newton driving on Ballinger, and with eyes in the back of his head, Alan Anderson knocks it out with 7.9 and 4 to shoot. This game following the same pattern of the first 2 Indiana-Michigan State meetings in the regular season. Off the glass, rebound comes over to Newton, just short. No time for Taylor to get one off. Mike Davis in the first game had as much as a 22-point lead at the half. They won it by 18. Second game up 7 at the half, but they lost by 3. And here, 33-24, a 9-point Hoosier edge in our first quarterfinal of the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis. To Bill Pito and Digger Phelps. Guys?
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Michigan State, Digger, won this tournament in '99 and in 2000, but right now, somewhat of a hole here.
Well, Michigan State, you just can't play a half and get 12 turnovers. That kills you. Indiana's dominated the boards, and if you go in at halftime and you're up 9, Indiana, and Jeffries is only 1 for 5, you're very, very happy because he can light up in the second half. I just feel now that Michigan State's just got to regroup and find some offense, especially inside.
Coming up, it's the 7-Up halftime report. We will run down the rest of the action later on in the Big Ten, take a look at all the other conference tournaments as Indiana leads the Spartans 33-24. Back with the halftime report after this. Stay with us, everybody.
Introducing the Isuzu Axiom. It says sexy city style. It has a V6 with 230 horses. Giddy up. Leather trim seats, smooth and supple. Plenty of cargo space, too. And America's longest and sexiest warranty. The Isuzu Axiom. You want one, don't you?
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
Between Boston and New York, thousands of bioscience and IT companies are creating one of the fastest growing technology hotspots in the country. It's Connecticut, ranked #1 in knowledge-based jobs, #3 in readiness for the knowledge-based economy, and with a quality of life that is second to none. Check us out. You belong in Connecticut.
Freeze, LAPD!
Patrolling your neighborhood every Friday. Cut. This guy is the worst actor I have ever seen.
This spring,
I'm not an actor.
Get that camera out of here.
fighting crime
Okay, Annie, get the dish out.
goes prime time.
You are the TV cops.
Robert De Niro,
You don't think we're real cops?
Eddie Murphy. It's
showtime.
Showtime.
Show your body at the car. You okay there, TJ?
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, March 15th.
Yeah.
Howie, don't miss the big wireless sale at Radio Shack.
I swear I heard Terry.
Yes, Howie, you clearly heard Terry. Now get a clear digital Sprint PCS phone by Samsung. The N200 is just $99.99 after a $50 Sprint PCS mail-in rebate. Then, save another $50 only at Radio Shack. Get 4,000 clear wireless minutes for only $39.99 a month.
I just love it when I get into his head.
Howie!
The Sprint store at Radio Shack.
For the courageous New England Patriots, the forecast turned out super.
30, 25, 50.
Share the thrills with Sports Illustrated and the great new NFL Films video, The New England Patriots Super Bowl 36 Champions, on your choice of either VHS or DVD. Plus, this hardbound Sports Illustrated commemorative. This individually numbered classic captures the Patriots in championship style. Both are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. Call now for an inside look at the miraculous season of the New England Patriots, free with your paid order of 55 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.59 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. This Super Bowl football, designed exclusively for Sports Illustrated, is also free when you use your credit card. It's a super collectible you can't get anywhere else. Call now and get all three free with your choice of either VHS or DVD. This is where the action is. Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
This halftime report is presented by 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours.
Indiana at the half leads Michigan State by the score of 33-24. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us in the studio. Bill Pito along with Digger Phelps. 2 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN2. We will have another game in this Big Ten Conference Tournament. It will be Iowa taking on Wisconsin. And as you take a look at the Big Ten bracket, Iowa will take on the #1 seeded Badgers. And when you look at Iowa, Luke Recker, 25 points yesterday. And also, you cannot forget about Reggie Evans, who had a career best game as well on the board yesterday.
Well, you got to love Luke Recker's attitude to come back. I think Iowa's on a mission. Knowing how poorly they played during the conference season, Recker now's taking his team over yesterday, getting the points they needed, especially against Purdue. You're right, Reggie Evans, 18 big rebounds as they hug, but they know they've got a war against Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you better be ready, even though you won your last 6. Iowa knows they got to get to the championship, win it to try to get in as an NCAA bid.
Iowa a year ago won this conference tournament. Also, later today in the Big Ten, another matchup to talk about, Illinois and Minnesota. And who can forget what happened on Sunday? If you missed that, Illinois up 9 in the final 3-12, and they blew the ball game.
Minnesota just had some bad turnovers at the end of the game, especially the last one where Frank Williams just got the steal, went in and scored a layup. Gophers go down. This will be a tough game today because the Gophers will play with a lot more intensity. Dan Munsell will show that tape to those kids. You had them. Now let's go get it done when it counts, because Minnesota needs to beat Illinois to try to become a bubble and get off the bubble, move their way through the Big Ten Conference Tournament the same way Penn State did last year. The way they played, they got in, not only got in, got to the Sweet 16 by beating North Carolina in the second round. So the Gophers have to win this game, otherwise they're out. But Illinois, to me, is a very solid basketball team. Now that they've got their confidence, especially Corey Bradford, who had 19 points in that Minnesota win. And when you look at their front line with Archibald, Brian Cook, I think now the Gophers are one of those teams, Bill, no matter what they do in a Big Ten Conference Tournament, this team has potential to get to the Sweet 16, and who knows, maybe to the Final 8. And when you see it happen in the past, they are capable of making it to the Final 4.
And when you talk about Illinois, they've won 8 in a row after a shaky start. They're playing their best basketball of the year. Back with more when we come back. At the half so far, Dane Fife for Indiana has 10. Hoosiers up by 9. Come back with us.
Share your heart with another. We're all
At 7-Up, selling soft drinks, we're about bringing people together. People from all over the world, all walks of life. Democrats, Republicans, oil company executives, environmentalists, East Coast rappers, West Coast rappers, all here to sing in peace and harmony. A little louder, everybody. I can barely hear the singing.
What would it be worth to wake up in a great mood?
I'm in a great mood.
Because you had a good night's sleep.
I slept like a baby.
In a nice, comfortable room.
What a room, yeah.
How about 10% off?
Hey, I like that 10%.
With Super 8's VIP card, it's yours, guaranteed.
VIP, that's me.
At over 1,900 locations. Clean, friendly Super 8.
Clean, friendly, yeah.
Super 8, all the room you want.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried Extra Strength Rolaids, you're in for a new experience. It's fruity, creamy, smooth. A new test-proof Extra Strength Rolaids has the taste even Tums can't beat. And it's fast. Extra Strength Rolaids quickly neutralizes 21% more stomach acid than Tums ZX. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief with a taste that can't be beat.
I wonder how many of them are ready for the day when they head home for retirement. If they're TD Waterhouse customers, chances are they're prepared. Because TD Waterhouse has an online retirement planner along with retirement specialists at all their branches. It's time you checked in with TD Waterhouse before you head home for work and close shop for good.
Open an IRA and get a 1-year subscription to Money Magazine. TD Waterhouse, you're in control.
Am I a speed skater? Yes. Did I skate when they said I couldn't skate? Yes. Did I skate my way to a World Cup victory? Yes. Could I have ever skated this far if I'd ever done drugs? Please.
Over on ESPN as we continue on the 7-Up halftime report, Florida State and Maryland. Steve Blake, Byron Mouton, up and down. Florida State coming in the 8th seed. Maryland's first ACC title since 79-80 in the regular season as we take a look at the bracket.
Well, Steve Robinson playing last night knows that you got to slow it down somehow. So he's playing his own defense, trying to slow down Maryland's pace, but it's tough when you got to play at noon after you play a night game, especially in this bracket against the Terps who want to go up and down, but the Terps up 10 early in this game.
Now you saw Virginia on that bracket going to play NC State, and Digger, this is a team, now your guy Pete Gillen in a dicey situation.
But it's the ACC, and that's what you got to look at it when you take that standpoint. They don't have enough wins in the conference because there's only 9 teams. But the fact is this: Virginia's a very solid team. A win over NC State today would really put them in as, okay, 5 teams are locked for the ACC going to the NCAA tournament. A loss puts them on the bubble, and that's going to depend on what goes on the rest of the country. What they need to have are the favorites in the rest of the conference tournaments to win, so that they have to have somebody sliding in. As an example, Gonzaga wins, Pepperdine still goes. They don't need that to happen amongst other conferences that are going to play for championships this weekend.
Virginia hasn't won a tourney game since '95, just trying to get in right now. In the meantime, the Big East, here's how that bracket shapes up after a wild night last night. How about UConn barely surviving, Digger?
Barely surviving, and they're going to have their hands full tonight with Notre Dame. Chris Thomas has really matured as a freshman point guard. His shot selection's solid. He knows how to get the ball to Humphrey inside, and that's going to be a key matchup. Does Humphrey get Okafor in foul trouble? When that happens, that's how UConn's defense breaks down, especially on the perimeter, and that would open it up for Graves and Carroll to start shooting those threes. I look for the Irish to play a little zone tonight to try to control UConn from going up and down, and from that standpoint, you're going to see a great game. But in the other game, Miami and Pitt, Brandon Knight is, to me, one of the solid players in the nation, and his leadership, Miami's going to have to play a lot better than they did yesterday to make sure that they can knock off Pitt. But I love the way Ben Howland, Pitt's team, has played to their potential, and that's very, very important. He's a great coach. The defense is there. Pitt is for real.
Pitt lost to Miami in the regular season, Digger. Since then, they have gone 11-1. So that's how the day's going to shape up. Just getting started here on ESPN2 as well as over on ESPN. At the half of our first game, Indiana leads Michigan State 33-24. Dave Barnett, Quinn Buckner, the second half after this.
Why are so many people switching to IDT long distance?
5 cents, actually. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for joining IDT. Enjoy the savings.
Because we offer the simplest low-cost long-distance plan available. Just 5 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for every state-to-state long-distance call you make. We don't waste money on celebrities and gimmicks. We just offer the best long-distance available at the lowest possible price. Just 5 cents a minute, all day long, every single day of the week. And IDT has 6-second billing, so you never get charged for time you don't use. No complicated billing plans with rates that change depending on the time of day. No prepayments for time you may lose, and no annoying 1010 numbers to dial. Just the best long distance available at the lowest possible price. For real savings in the real world, call IDT right now. We're waiting for your call.
5 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. IDT long distance. No one does it for less.
What defines excellence? It's all about learning.
There are no limitations to the things you can do here. There are many things that join us together, even though every one of us is unique.
The teachers have been incredibly supportive.
Their excitement and love for their subject, just spills over into the classroom.
It's a challenge, but you can do it.
There's just not a place better in the country.
Indiana University.
Excellent. A typical car insurance agent is on the job during regular business hours. On the other hand, Geico insurance professionals are on the job 24 hours a day. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I didn't want mail.
You don't have to sacrifice service to save money. Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Every day at Mad Mushroom Pizza, we make fresh pizza dough. Then we slice up the freshest vegetables and combine them with the best meats, mozzarella cheese, and great spicy tomato sauce for the best tasting pizza around. Mad Mushroom Pizza, cheese sticks, breadsticks, and chicken wings can be delivered to most of Bloomington and anywhere on IU's campus. Expect great food, low everyday prices, and fast, free delivery. Every pizza place should operate this way, but since they don't, you better call Mad Mushroom Pizza at 330-FAST.
Third meeting of the year between Indiana and Michigan State, and in all three, Indiana has had the better of the first halves. Another sizable halftime lead. We'll see if they can hang on here in this second half. Dave Barnett back with Quinn Buckner setting the early tone. The veteran guards for Indiana, Tom Coverdale and Dane Fife.
Yeah, they've done an outstanding job. They've been able to get the three-point shooting going, and that's what we've talked about with Indiana, their ability to stick shots. Coverdale came and played strong, getting to the lane, and once you start doing that, you really put a lot of pressure on the defense. They find Dane Fife out beyond the three-point line. He pulls up, he knocks down threes. He's yet to miss a shot. He's been very accurate for his team, and I think outstanding defensively as well.
So Indiana in that first half hits 50%, 6 steals, and 4 of those were by Coverdale. And Dane Fife with 2 3-pointers and a team leading total of 10, while Michigan State held a 43%, turned it over 12 times, outscored in the paint 16-6. A big surprise. You never expect to see them out-rebounded in a half by as many as 4, but it was 16-12 Indiana on the glass. And Marcus Taylor scored their first 5 points. Quinn was not heard from after those first 3.5 minutes or so.
Well, if he's not able to get his teammates involved in the game in the low post, he can't do a lot in terms of shooting because Indiana covers the three-point line. So that's been kind of a problem. But 12 turnovers is a huge problem for them. Indiana playing solid defense. Coverdale and Fife leading the charge.
Yeah, they held Michigan State to its second lowest scoring first half all season. And the last 2 games of the regular season, remember, Michigan State scored 81 and 93. It looked like their offense was finding its most effective level of the season. Indiana has wiped all that out as their ball to start the second half. And they did all that with very little from Jeffries. Still seeming to be affected by the ankle. Taylor comes up with a steal. 3 defenders back.
Jeffries, nice job covering Taylor.
Coverdale up on him. Indiana, I think, has done a terrific job, Brent, of keeping Michigan State out of any sort of rhythm or flow in the half court.
They really have, and that's principally because with no inside play, Oh, they get away, I think, with a little bit over the back by Hill, but with no inside play, they cover the perimeter. There's nowhere to go. You can afford to send people backdoor because they're not going to get a basket.
Look what I found basket that time by Ballinger. All alone, Coverdale, usually a big mistake. To the deck, there's Odell sliding along with Taylor out of bounds off of Odell.
On both players' part, good effort. You take long shots, they tend to come off long. Odell on the left comes in, hits the ball as he gets to it first. Both of them going down.
Alan Anderson setting up Taylor, and Marcus, after hitting those first two, 0 for 4 since. Jeffries with a little rise that time.
Able to get up that time, but I mean a real good look off by Coverdale to clear the area by vision alone to be able to get Jeffries free at the rim.
Indiana's first Big Ten Player of the Year since Brian Evans in 1996. Jared Jeffries as just a sophomore. Taylor crowded by Coverdale and Gagne. Very quiet first half. Taylor fouled by Coverdale. His second.
On the fast break situation, you may have to use some deception. Watch his eyes as he gets that one. He looked away just a little bit and then gets it quick to Jeffries, showing some explosiveness after missing one of the easy ones early. Probably a lot more confident in his ability to get to the rack.
Here has been the issue for a month now as Taylor on the line for the first time, 82% free throw shooter.
When I talked to Jared Jeffries about that ankle, as you see Marcus Taylor's point production, he said that it's still sore and he didn't think it could get much better playing on it, but he could, you know, you don't have a choice now. You don't get a chance to get much rest.
They didn't want any rest for a few weeks.
No, not at all.
Off the ball, they look at Hornsby. Randy Drury calling Kyle Hornsby for his first.
Hornsby. His first
can pick it up.
Number 32 Hornsby right there. They call him for sliding over. He slid a little bit to his left. And the officials sometimes will let you get away with that, sometimes not, choosing to call it.
Aren't you going to slide a little when Anna Gagne runs into him?
Then you better not be in the pit.
Taylor's first basket since the first 4 points of the game, the first 4 minutes of the game, when he had the first 5 points for Michigan State. And they come within 5. Both sets of fans now being heard from. Chance for Michigan State's to celebrate a bit. All alone Hornsby, and now he and Coverdale missing wide open threes, tied up. Ballinger and Fife. Michigan State has the error.
Tom Izzo has talked to Marcus Taylor about getting it, trying to get it up quickly. Jeffrey does not come out. Coverdale kind of gets them between, and Coverdale comes late. Somehow Taylor gets it to go down. We'll see how he does. As you see some anxious parents. James and Kay Taylor.
They had the trip from Lansing.
Oh, they make a lot of trips. We've seen them at a number of the games. Indiana's made a switch. They've got Donald Perry on Marcus Taylor now. There's a little more quickness. With Coverdale, you get strength. Here you get quickness.
Boy, this is a tough call because Hill was driving in a mismatch on Jeff Newton, but they call the offensive foul.
3 seconds.
3 seconds call.
Yeah, they were. I thought they'd call an offensive foul myself, but they ended up calling 3 seconds.
Indiana's led by as many as 11. Missed a couple of open shots last couple of times down, though. Jeff Newton. Shot clock under 10. Foul before the shot. Wave it off. No basket for Newton. Anna Gagne picks up his second.
They tell Mike Davis that it was on the ground when the foul occurred. Bang, it is. In the pro league, once you pick it up, you're in the motion. You're in the shot motion as long as you don't take a dribble. Here in the college league, it's when there's in college, it's where the contact occurs, is where the foul is.
Donald Perry, a freshman from Tallulah, Louisiana, Mr. Basketball for that state last year. Get off the bench. Hornsby down low.
Playing against a 2-3 zone now.
Jeffries briefly had a step on Ballinger. Out to Perry, and a tough drive. It stays home.
Nice look away and quick off the glass.
First basket for Perry. Lead back to 7. Quick answer, Hill from Anaganye.
Quick cut, good pass.
Chris Hill leading the Spartans along with Taylor, each with 9 points. And Indiana starts with Jeffries low on the left side, draws some contact, almost gets it off the glass. He'll go to the line, and Anaganye, who avoided foul trouble in the first half, has it now. He's got 3.
2 team fouls on Michigan State. 2
John Izzo has preached to him all year, avoid the dome foul, avoid getting whistled on the plays you can't make, but I'm not sure if this is in that category.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty solid defensively. Jeffries is a tough handle. I don't care where you get to him, and what you have to do is go straight. Jeffries initiates that contact. That's a tough one from the backside. The arms come down, but the reason the arms came down is he got a shoulder in the chest.
Jeffries got him up off his feet. Gets 1 out of 2. Gets Anaganye on the bench. Timeout. 15:34 to play. And Chris Hill and the Spartans trailing by 6.
Championship Week continues today on ESPN and ESPN2.
7-Up is proud to sponsor youth hockey. And for when they get thirsty, I've provided plenty of 7-Up because I care about the kids. 7-Up is now proud to sponsor youth swimming. Kick those legs, Tommy.
What good is beauty if it's only skin deep? The new Camry, reinvented so it's sleeker, faster, roomier, better. You're gonna want one. See your local Toyota dealer.
Get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 8 weeks at just 38 cents a day, a 50% savings.
Call 800-454-6500. That's 800-454-6500 for the Wall Street Journal.
38-32 Indiana, 15:34 to go in our first quarterfinal. Championship Week presented by 7-Up will continue when this one's done with Bo Ryan and Wisconsin, the top seed, against Iowa. Bo Ryan was born the year Wisconsin won its last Big Ten championship, 1947. Well, anybody can have a 55-year drought every now and then.
They've been working on that program. Got it done pretty well. Got to the Final Four with Coach Bennett. But winning the Big Ten championship, something they just haven't been able to do.
They've been Coach of the Year honors in the Big Ten this year. First year. Stolen by Dane Fife, the co-defensive player of the year in the Big Ten.
Boy, and that's what that was. That was a defensive mentality kind of play where you know that you're in the line of the pass, and that's the play they're trying to run. And that's what a coach likes to see. I tell you, that's what they're going to run. Just play the angle we talked about.
Hoosiers continue to try and get going low. Newton and Jeffries both missing makeable shots, but contact on Adam Ballinger, his second.
That dunk early in the second half, I think, gave tremendous confidence to Jared Jeffries because he goes up in the crowd. See, he comes through two Spartans to get it and just takes it up. Ballinger can't even get out of the way. Jeffries gets the shot up.
Well, Jeffries is the only Hoosier who's got any free throws today. 3 out of 5 as Torbert replaces Anderson. And I think the play he just made, even though he didn't get the shot, something that he has not really even felt up to trying in the last month.
Well, and it is not going up that I think has been the problem. I think he's been more worried about coming down on somebody's foot.
Indiana by 8. Newton chasing Hill. Nice help defense by Jeffries. They've got him trapped. And his bounce pass is going to bounce all the way out of bounds.
Not nice help. Great help. Because you know who it was? Newton and Jeffries. You're talking your two biggest players in terms of size. But now you got length trapping you as well. So you can't throw it over the top. And that's what happened in this particular play. So he tries to throw it in between them. Ends up throwing it into a backcourt situation. And Jeffries, you can see Jeffries wants the ball. He wants to play now.
And they call Jason Andreas for his second, team's fourth, in Seco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Quarterfinal round of the Big Ten Tournament. Championship week presented by 7-Up. Indiana, one of the 4 Big Ten regular season co-champs at 11-5. They've dominated inside. They've led almost wire to wire by as many as 11 points. 40-32 at the moment. Up 9 at the half. Michigan State yet to get a real run going here in the second half. As Jeffries again draws contact. That's 3 on Ballinger.
No, I told you, he wants the ball. You can see it. I mean, he chased it one time in a place he had no business being and then threw it back, went to the other side.
Mom Cecilia from Bloomington, and you can almost see every possession now Jeffries get more and more confidence that he's not going to re-injure the ankle.
No, there's no doubt. He's got confidence that he can come down and play.
3-point play.
And what he's just done is he just gave all his shooters more confidence in their ability to make shots. If they know they have an outlet if they get in trouble.
Jeffries has 8 of the 10 Indiana points here in the second half. Marcus Taylor.
Oh, good defense.
Just enough of an opening in the lane to get that backhand to fall, and he draws contact by Hornsby.
It was a great shot. That was good defense, but a great shot. Because Jeffries gets switched off on him, and you see Hornsby coming, and it was tough to see there, but what Taylor was able to do, he splits him, and somehow still is able to get the ball up on and over his head off the glass.
No 3-point play, though. Here's Jeffries showing the ball handling ability. Would you agree, without question, the best set of talents of anybody in the Big Ten? There's nothing he can't do.
Not even close. Not even close. Because he can, in addition to being able to score, that should be an offensive foul.
And it is.
Yeah, and he's actually gotten away with that about 3 times. So that's why I knew what it was going to be so quickly. Because Ballinger will reach over and watch Jeffrey take his arm and just lift him off. See, you can't lift the guy, see him lift him off. You can't lift him off like that. But I tell you what it shows. Jeffries has good strength. But Ballinger's a big guy.
Put on about 15, 20 pounds of muscle this year. Ball lost out of bounds by Taylor, and the Spartans give it right back. That is their 16th turnover.
The key has been defending the high screen and roll, and Indiana has done that so well. Watch Jeffrey, watch the guy stand out and cause problems. It's Newton that time who stepped out, and you can see the left hand of Taylor hit the ball. That's been the problem that Michigan State has had all afternoon.
Well scouted, well-prepared Indiana plan. And Michigan State still at only 34 points, not even half of their average per game, around under 13 minutes. As Donald Perry sees an opening. Ballinger over to block it, but it comes off to Jeff Newton. Spectacular follow.
Good follow by Newton. Ballinger goes to block, clears the pass.
Indiana again up 11, matching their big lead. Not for long, though. Ballinger with 7.
I hopped in the skip.
Hop and a skip, but no whistle.
Yeah, which is the most important thing.
Now Mike Davis gets Jeffries' attention. He says, nope, get out of the point, get it over to Perry. And now Jeffries trying to slip that bounce pass back over to Newton.
Newton was trying to get possession so Jeffries could get him the ball, but on this particular play, Perry takes it. Newton comes from the right side with one arm, is able to get it gingerly off the glass, making a very solid effort. The Hoosiers getting contributions from a lot of people.
Michigan State the last few years is a great run they've had. They've done it with wide bodies. Indiana with long bodies, causing all kinds of problems today.
Yeah, Indiana's players are a little bit more athletic than the more physical. You're right, Spartan.
First foul on Perry. Timeout, 11:59 remaining. Indiana right where they were at the half. Up by 9. Jared Jeffries improving with every possession for the Hoosiers.
Tonight on Robo Bash, we got 5-time world champion and Victor. And in this corner, Mini Fridge.
Todd, what is it?
It's a Bud Light.
Lock on.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Oh, no mercy!
The Toyota 4Runner can take you places other vehicles can't, which could necessitate bringing on some additional equipment.
Howie, don't miss the big wireless sale at Radio Shack!
I swear I heard Terry.
Yes, Howie, you clearly heard Terry. Now get a clear digital Sprint PCS phone by Samsung. The N200 is just $99.99 after a $50 Sprint PCS mail-in rebate. Then, save another $50 only at Radio Shack. Get 4,000 clear wireless minutes for only $39.99 a month.
I just love it when I get into his head. Howie!
The Sprint store at Radio.
Good reason. Those numbers dipped over the last month because of the ankle. Still ended up second in the rebounding in the Big Ten and 7th in scoring. But you throw in the passing ability, the shot blocking, the defensive awareness, and you have the total package there.
Yeah, I really like the fact that his length helps him get the block shots.
8 of his 11 points here in the second half. Corbett rebounded by Andreas, and they'll call Fife for a reach in. First foul on Fife, 6th Indiana team foul.
His first, 16 fouls on the Hoosiers. They can get, and they being Indiana, they can get this far. With Fife only having one foul because of the way he plays defenses is actually pretty good. He's so fired up. Coach Davis took him out. He's trying, and Dave Fife's trying to figure out why he's out of the game. Coach Davis is trying to save you for later.
Probably won't be out long. A.J. Moyer is in. And Bograkis is in for the Spartans.
See, every time Taylor turns the corner, he's got a 6'11" guy that can block shots in the way.
Referee's out to interrupt that weave. Corbett to Bograkis. Out of bounds, Indiana ball.
Yeah, that's why Michigan State hadn't gotten anything. It's either Jeffrey standing out, 6'11", long arms, or Newton, because their guys are the ones setting the screen.
Well, Indiana has 3 of the top 7 shot blockers in the Big Ten. George Leach, we haven't seen yet. Newton and Jeffries. They officially are not credited with a block today, but plenty of shots they've altered.
Let me tell you, the other 2 games that they got it, if Cloverdale gets to go down, the other 2 games they got it blocks against Michigan State. Michigan State players know that they're there.
That's usually just as good as a block.
It is just as good as Coverdale. Make sure he doesn't get this one blocked. Gets a little tap on the hand, plays through it, gets a touch off the rim.
First two here in the second half for Coverdale. Foul by Bograkis. Second team All Big Ten. 3-point play. Biggest lead now a dozen for Indiana with 11 minutes to protect it. Anna Gagne back in. Izzo says you can't wait any longer. 3 fouls or no. Aloysius back in. Perry almost lost it to Taylor. Outside it goes for a Moyer 3-point try.
A little long.
A lot long. A little extra adrenaline at this point.
Oh, solid D by Moyer.
There's Corbett into the air ball. Had to have gotten credit for a block on that one. And the finish by Perry. 14-point game.
And at this point, Tom Izzo's got to get a timeout because this group is struggling.
.10-16 remaining. And Indiana with its biggest margin yet.
People want to win on Sunday, March 10th. They want those national championship banners.
Everybody's playing their own game out there. Don't you kids get it?
First original motion picture from ESPN.
Playing my game is what got you here.
Brian Dennehy is Bobby Knight.
I had to sit around for a year with a losing record? I'm not going to let you people do that to me.
A Season on the Brink. Premieres Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Every day at Mad Mushroom Pizza, we make fresh pizza dough. Then we slice up the freshest vegetables and combine them with the best meats, mozzarella cheese, and great spicy tomato sauce for the best tasting pizza around. Mad Mushroom Pizza, cheese sticks, breadsticks, and chicken wings can be delivered to most of Bloomington and anywhere on IU's campus. Expect great food, low everyday prices, and fast, free delivery. Every pizza place should operate this way, but since they don't, you better call Mad Mushroom Pizza at 330-FAST.
I've never had a team play scared in a big game before.
Brian Dennehy is Bobby Knight.
What the hell are you scared of?
A Season on the Brink.
I had to sit around for a year with a losing record?
Sunday, March 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern.
I'm not going to let you people do that to me!
Only on ESPN.
See Bobby Knight in person for a rare appearance, April 26th. Call Ticket Brokers of Indiana at 888-842-5811.
Bill Peter back in the studio over on ESPN. It's Maryland and Florida State in the ACC tournament. Look at the pass from Juan Dixon, Alani Baxter, and Maryland up 37-26 late first half.
And Bill, the rest of the ACC quarterfinals today. NC State, Virginia to follow. Also on ESPN tonight. You're on ESPN2. Duke, Carolina, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech. And waiting to take on Iowa. Top seed Wisconsin. They're next in our second quarterfinal from Indianapolis. Iowa with its best game in about 3 months yesterday. Sending Purdue back home. 14 points, biggest lead of the game for Indiana. Anna Gagne. Tough shot between Newton and Jeffries.
What they did, though, is they changed sides with him. They got him on the right block, so when he turned, and he has been able to back Jeffries under the basket, he could turn to his left shoulder and just put it off the glass as opposed to a straight-in shot.
Indiana still hitting 51%. Jeffries right back over Anna Gagne.
Anna Gagne can't get the foul. Jeffries knows it. Went right at it.
Only 2 teams have hit at least 50% against Michigan State this year. Stanford and Indiana in the first meeting as well as today. That collision is going to go against Chris Hill. It's his third. Tom Izzo just about out of answers against Jeffries.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. When the guy can do this, take the charge, he's got his 2 biggest players trying to guard Jeffries on the post, and he still gets the ball off the glass and in. Jeffries comes and takes a little bit of a break.
Oh, he may have tweaked the ankle here.
He's got the trainer over there as well as the team doctor. He may have tweaked it just a little bit.
Meanwhile, Indiana gets the bonus, and Perry barely gets the front rim. It's
12 days ago, though, Michigan State came from 16 back to beat Indiana. That, however, was at the Breslin Center.
That was also when Jeffries was not up to snuff.
And that 16-point lead was early. And this one now 12 late, under 9 minutes, as Ballinger has 6 of his 9 here in the half, and Jeffries still wincing. Timeout called by Fife. Well, we'll monitor this. We'll see how long he sits. Davis would love the luxury of sitting him as long as possible, the double-figure lead. Sunday night, 8 Eastern. You can catch A Season on the Brink. Your discretion strongly advised. ESPN and ESPN2 present 2 airings unedited on ESPN, edited when produced audible adult language on ESPN2. Part of the block at 8 Eastern.
He's got that foot stretched up there like that's, I mean, it could be ankle related. But it's almost like he's worried more about his Achilles. When you take your foot and you try to extend it the way he did by taking it and putting it on the back of that chair, you're trying to make sure that the Achilles is stretched. I don't think it would be anything serious with that. But that's what he's trying to do.
Carried him this half. One of the best bursts of the season for the player of the year. 10 of his 13 points. Coverdale with the missed three-pointer, and Gagne with the save. Fife goes inside. And another Michigan State foul. George Leach on the floor for the first time as Jeffries continues to work on the ankle.
Jeffries looks like he's doing better. Gagne made a mistake. If you're going to save the ball and you're not sure you can save it to where you need to, throw it to your basket. Jeffries about to come in, not to the opposition.
Leach just a 55% free throw shooter. Jeffers is ready to come back in. 52-40 Taylor. Didn't mean for glass, I don't think, that time. Hill throws another outlet pass stolen by Fife. Dane Fife knows exactly where that ball's headed. I think sometimes even before the passer does.
He knew what the options were, and he just took the most likely one away.
After the Coverdale miss, he hustles down, picks up Taylor. Screen and roll into Gagne, instead over to Hill. Ballinger to try a three. And nails it.
They have been trying to get everyone out to cover Ballinger because he's capable of knocking down that shot. I saw Coach John Treloar from the Indiana Hoosiers getting on the big people. You got to get out to Ballinger.
To get his main big people back in, Newton will check in along with Jeffries' next chance. Odell rolling, and Fife hit him in stride.
Nice pass, but even tougher shot. Nicely done.
They lead back to 11. There's just been nothing sustained in the second half for the Spartans. They'll get within 7-8 points, and Indiana won't get them any closer. Taylor.
Well, you know what they did on that particular play? If you notice, there was no screen. So there was no one to step out. And Perry is a pretty good defensive player. And Taylor was able to clear space so he could get a shot off going to his right.
13 points for Taylor. Under 7 minutes. Donald Perry using Odell. Back up, reset with 10 to shoot for Coverdale.
High screen and roll.
5 to shoot. And underneath, Jared Odell.
He's having just a marvelous senior year for someone who barely played in his previous 4 years.
His career high before this year was 9 points, and that happened as a freshman. And he's had 25-point games this year. Almost gets to that loose ball before Taylor, and they'll call him for fouling Taylor, his second. Both teams now in the bonus. This may be where Jeffries tweaked the ankle a few minutes ago, and he comes right back in, but here's what happened to him.
Well, he's in the center right there. Yeah, he did. That is where he got it. Because he came down a little awkwardly on Torbert's foot.
Right foot. gets the front end of the 1-1, and Michigan State can ill afford poor free throw shooting. They have had great free throw shooting all year, third best in the country. Today, 6 out of 9.
Well, they got to get to the line more one, and then they've got to make shots. So Jeffrey's all right. He's in pushing with Ballinger. Believe me, he is fine.
Wants it, gets it from Perry. Turns on Ballinger. Gives it up to Newton.
I told you he was fine. You can see how strong he went that time.
10 points for Newton. Indiana by 13. Martin trying to stay patient. Taylor foul before the shot. Kyle Hornsby with his third.
If you've got a bad ankle, you don't post up strong. May get away with a little hook. Watch the right arm, but at any rate, gets sandwiched. Still able to get it to Newton, who finishes the play. But able to be strong with the basketball before he traveled, because he was about to travel with it. But a little magician with the play.
And that was your litmus test. I think that ankle's fine.
Yeah, because he had to try to push through two players, both at least 220.
14 now for Taylor. Tom Izzo, in Mike Davis's opinion, may have done the best coaching job of anybody in the conference, and that's Bo Ryan included. Ryan won Coach of the Year, but when you consider what Izzo lost from last year's team and what he did with 3 freshmen playing almost at all times this year, and the way they came on late, this is a team that got better every week and ended playing the best ball they played all year with 5 straight wins. Add all that up, Davis could not say enough good things about the job Izzo did this year. But again, Taylor gets only 1 out of 2, and the lead is 12 with 5.5. Winner here against the winner of our next game, Wisconsin, Iowa, quarterfinal 2. Taylor comes up with it. 4 defenders back, pull up three-pointer, and he nailed it, and they'll call it a 2.
And that's one of his strengths, his ability to push the ball at you so quick on the defensive end that you can not stop him if he pulls up. He got a 2-pointer on that in the fast break.
A.J. Moye and Perry. Young backcourt in there with the senior. 5 turnovers. 14th by the Hoosiers. 4:55 remaining. Mike Davis has controlled things almost the entire way, but Taylor still has time to be heard.
They say if you're going to sell something, get yourself a captive audience.
Oh, watch the sleeve. Okay, there you go. This place is going to be a gold mine.
I'm not picking that up.
When you bring the 7-Up, everyone is your friend. Okay, that's enough being friends.
The main course is brick from my very own home, in fact. Bit stiff to boost the heat a little bit.
For real home cooking taste, come in during Sonic's Home Cooking Month and get the down-home flavor of our new country fried steak or any of our other toaster sandwiches.
He's got the disc. They're coming your way.
Excellent. Describe the vehicle.
They're driving, it's like it's a silverish, bluish, it's a bluish what?
Secret weapon? Escape pod? The new Toyota Matrix. That's something else.
ESPN2's presentation of Championship Week is presented by 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours.
A lot of signs around downtown. The Bank One building, downtown Indianapolis, welcoming the Big Ten tournament to Conseco Fieldhouse. Dave Barnett and Quinn Buckner. Indiana has led almost the entire way, and both these teams fully expect to get bids. It's probably just a matter of seeding for Indiana and Michigan State. Illinois, Ohio State, Wisconsin also should be in it. What about Minnesota? They may play the most important game of the tournament tonight when they play Illinois, because they may very well need it to get in.
Yeah, I think they do. I really do. I think Minnesota's had a great year. You can look at their schedule strength, 9-7 in the conference, 7-11. But I like them. You know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. You know, they've got 4 teams that they got good key wins against, including a key loss against Wilmington. That's a tough one. But Wilmington's going to the tournament. I think Minnesota belongs in the tournament. That's my personal opinion. with a good showing.
They've made one more play last weekend against Illinois. Probably would be a moot point. Let that game get away in the final seconds in Minneapolis. And Ballinger in trouble, has to use the timeout.
He was fortunate to be by his bench, because his bench started screaming to him to call timeout before they lost possession on a 5-second violation.
Championship week presented by 7-Up continues today and tonight in the Conagra Foods Big East Championship in Madison Square Garden. Semifinals beginning at 7. Pittsburgh, Miami, followed by UConn and Notre Dame, and the championship tomorrow night on ESPN at 8 Eastern. How about the Big East bubble picture? It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a significant one. St. John's at 38. I don't think Rutgers has a very good chance at it. BC is really kind of falling on hard times at the end. And I think Syracuse, I think they're going to use in there. I really do.
Boy, they disappeared after a great start.
Yeah, but there's something that this is intuitive here. I just have that feel. I'm not part of the committee, so I can't put
But that doesn't stop you from reading their minds.
Reading their minds.
And normally with pretty good accuracy, you might add. Alan Anderson will come in for Torbert. Tough day for Kelvin Torbert. 0 for 4.
It's been a tough year for Kelvin Torbert. He was the high school player of the year. Had to make the adjustment to playing Big Ten basketball, and it really hasn't worked out well for him.
Anderson following up the miss by Hill. The other two freshmen who have had better first years. So, 8-point margin down near 4 minutes to go. Michigan State fans sensing this may be their last shot at a run.
They can get a run going, but if I'm Indiana, I'm going to the post and Jared Jeffries. They're actually going to run a screen and roll, but watch him inside. Oh,
boy, that's the foul that Izzo has faulted Antigone for all year. The needless foul. He gets out and trips up Coverdale.
Well, he kind of loses his concentration momentarily. He sees him coming, and now he knows his first intent was he's supposed to step out. But he steps out late, and you can see the left foot gets stepped on by Coverdale. But I would agree with you. It is a thoughtless foul. I don't want to say it's senseless, but it's a thoughtless foul that puts Michigan State in a tough spot because he's their inside presence.
Coverdale, 10 points, 7 assists. All 4 of those steals were in the first half. And both free throws to put them back up by 10.
I'm going to tell you what else that foul was. It was an untimely foul. You got a chance to get a stop going the other way, and you end up tripping and sending one of the best foul shooters on the team to the foul line.
Nothing good about it at all.
No.
Ball knocked out by Odell with 16 seconds on the shot clock. And a timeout. Is there enough time for Izzo and the Spartans to make one final run down 10?
Okay, good news. That broadband thing we all want? Got it figured out. Honey, you call the phone company. Tracy, you're digging the trench, shovels in the garage. I'm going up on the roof to assess satellite possibilities. Jimmy, check out these schematics. Appreciate it. Let's go!
We know how you feel, and that's why Circuit City offers one-stop high-speed internet access. You can find what's available where, compare options, and arrange installation. Circuit City, we're with you.
Oh, we can get broadband at Circuit City.
Hello?
Collect calls.
Did you use 1-800-COLLECT?
1-800-COLLECT presents Ava Save-A-Lot, starring in the most horrifying movie ever. I know you're not calling me with 1-800-COLLECT.
What kind of twisted mind wouldn't want me to save a buck or two? It's so easy. What a nightmare.
1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
If you haven't tried Extra Strength Rolaids, you're in for a new experience. It's fruity, creamy, smooth. A new test-proof Extra Strength Rolaids has the taste even Tums can't beat. And it's fast. Extra Strength Rolaids quickly neutralizes 21% more stomach acid than Tums DX. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief with a taste that can't be beat.
Tom Izzo's job made that much tougher by Antigagne's fourth foul a moment ago.
Yeah, well, it is because Antigagne tries to step out. You see, he trips Coverdale, and then the importance of it with Tom Izzo is evident on not making plays that are thoughtless, senseless, and losing a player who is of great importance to the team on a play where he's just got to concentrate better.
And Quinn, he's got to also be showing frustration from having tried all year, in fact 3 years, to get that same message across to Antigagne, even telling him at times to play passive just to avoid picking up fouls like that.
No question, if you see a move unlike you see very often by Marcus Taylor with the left hand.
18 for Taylor, 60-52.
He needs some help.
He's not had much. And a stop here, in fact 2 or 3 in a row, imperative for Michigan State.
Well, you want to get Indiana to the point where they have to make a shot. They haven't been there most of the afternoon. And see how they react to that. That's all you can do at this point.
Under 10 to shoot. 3 minutes on the game clock as Odell spins, falls away, rebounded by Hill, and now probably the most important possession of the day for Michigan State.
See if they'll try any screen action, dribble screen.
Knocked away by 5. Saves.
Good effort by Moyer.
Grab by Moyer who gets a timeout call.
A defensive play by Indiana makes the game. Fife, co-defensive player of the year, tips it. Moyer comes up with it. Not much Tom Izzo can say. Gets a hand on the ball to Dane Fife, and actually got it back was Marcus Taylor, but a good effort coming out of nowhere is A.J. Moyer. A solid play, knowing he can't go anywhere. He's timeout, please. He can't even get the hand right for the tee.
Who is that?
Oh, little A.J.
Oh, man. Beverly, his mom, could not be much prouder.
Little A.J. Come here, little A.J. Little A.J.'s growing up to be a big boy.
2:38 to go. Moment ago, Michigan State had a chance to cut it down to 5 and really make it interesting. And instead, after that defensive stop by Fife and Moyer, 10th Indiana steal. Their ball with 2:38 to go.
They still have enough time to make a play. They've got to get 2 stops and make a basket. I'm telling you. Then it's a big difference here with 2.5 to go.
5 of those 10 steals have been from Dane Fife.
Where is Jared Jeffries?
He's down low, being fronted by Antigagne. Off the ball foul called by Gene Monge, and that's 4 on Ballinger. Also the double bonus now for Indiana.
Right here, we'll take a look. Cummings. He hit him.
Forearm shiver.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He hit him, and he deserves a foul. No need to do that for Ballinger because A.J. Moyer was going away from the basket. He started to it and was going away.
Beverly watches him push the margin back up to 9. 76% free throw shooter. Drills them both.
And may have pushed the wind out of the sails of the Spartans.
And standing to applaud Moyer as Hornsby comes back. And Indiana will try to protect this 10-point lead with full court pressure.
That was going to be a show. You should know that. They're not going to foul. They wanted to show them a little pressure because they can't afford to foul. I mean, they don't need to foul.
Taylor and Ballinger. Now down Antigagne's way. Ballinger right back. And Antigagne misses point blank. Had to have that one.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But it's been the whole story for Michigan State. When they had to make a play, they couldn't do it.
They did not. They really did. They had a violation.
11 seconds had elapsed before they got that over the timeline. There were 24 seconds on on the shot clock. Izzo says that was a little more than 10, and it absolutely was.
There's no question about it. Tom Izzo was trying to say it.
Hill has to stop the clock since they didn't call the turnover, and that's his 4th foul. And Dane Fife, shooting double bonus, has not taken a shot here in the second half. He still had a huge impact, though. 10 points, 5 steals.
He may not get a credit for the steal with A.J. Moye, though. And that's the kind of play he makes.
Moye back. Defense for offensive substitution. 63-52 with a minute 38. Michigan State, the best three-point shooting team in the Big Ten, 40% this year. Looking desperately for a three-point. Opportunity is Taylor. Covered up by Fife. There is none there as the Hoosiers spread out along the perimeter and force another turnover.
With no inside play, that's what they get. And Tom Izzo can do little but look on. Again, Taylor tries to make a move. The good step out by Jared Jeffries, it actually goes off of his foot.
20 Spartan turnovers.
They have made it awfully tough on themselves. Indiana timeout, 1:09 remaining. So this one about to send Indiana on to the semifinals. Championship Week update presented by 7-Up is next. And they'll update the Big East, the SEC, and the Big 12. After going undefeated through the regular season, can Kansas dominate the tournament in Kansas City? After which you'll see Iowa battle Wisconsin. And that game is a whole lot better than it looked like before we saw Iowa yesterday.
No, there's no doubt about it. Iowa played probably its best game of the year. The question is, and as you talk to some of the people around the basketball program, can they get that to continue? You know, the Hoosiers, on the other hand, have come out here and played pretty well on both sides of the ball. You can take a look at the turnovers force on a seasonal basis, under 14 to date, 20.
They're hitting 52%, so 2 of their 3 games this year, 50% plus shooting for Indiana. The only other team to do it against Michigan State all season was Stanford. They turned it over. The problem for Michigan State all year has been their league worst turnover margin, and 20 today, more than they can overcome, barring literally a last-minute miracle.
Man, well, that's youth.
That's 3 freshmen.
I said that to you at the beginning of the game, that's what was going to cause Michigan State problems. They're young, trying to play against guys who've been through a lot before. Payne gets his hand on that.
I have to put it all on the 3 freshmen, too, because the veterans, the few that Michigan State has, have also not taken great care of it today.
Because they've gotten more pressure than they've ever got, because the perimeter players are young. The guys that normally handle the ball, so it puts a lot of pressure on guys that don't handle it.
Quick timeout after a Taylor 2-pointer cuts it back to 63-54. 9-point game. 49 seconds. And now 20 points for Taylor, 15 in the second half.
You see, they double screen on the sides. What Michigan State did, as Jeffries tries to get to Taylor, is they stopped trying to get Taylor free on ball screens, which means dribbling the ball. Mike Davis wants his guys to get out. So what they've done is run Taylor off screens without the ball and try to get it to him in position to shoot.
Hockey tomorrow on ABC. NHL action. Some of you will see the Red Wings take on the Blues. Others see the Rangers and the Penguins. And still others will watch the Kings and the Avalanche. It all starts at 3 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. Winner here tomorrow afternoon will take on the winner of Wisconsin-Iowa in the semifinals. Tonight, Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, the other 2 quarterfinal matchups, and those winners play tomorrow as well. Jeffries fouled before he can feed A.J. Moye in the open court by
Bograkis, 46.1 seconds. Indiana led this one by 9 at the half, pushed it as high as 14 in the second half. And the Spartans have simply not been able to make the key stop, hit the key basket, and really put much pressure on Indiana.
No, not at all. They've not been able to do that, but I have to say this for Michigan State. Considering all the things that happened, being one game out of first place, they've actually done a pretty good year with a young crew. I mean, that's what Mike Davis was alluding to when he thought that Tom Izzo, I'm sorry, should be considered, a little higher than he was as Coach of the Year. But today, they just ran into a better, if you will, Indiana team.
It's hard to get Tom Izzo to admit that, but I think a lot of people around this league would agree that this may be a better coaching job than he did even in that run of 3 straight Final Four years. Simply because he lost 81% of his scoring, 75% of his rebounding.
The guys that really shocked him was Zach Randolph leaving. Jason Richardson maybe, but Zach Randolph takes away from what they had inside.
Now, IU trying to play keep away. Odell will go to the line with 33.9 seconds as Adam Ballinger fouls out. With 12 points, Ballinger out of Bluffton, Indiana, junior. Back for one more year, and he'll be replaced by Matt Ishbia.
Without Adam Wolf, they put a lot of pressure on Ballinger, and he was a great degree. And Gagne to stay out of foul trouble. They couldn't do it. The inside play was too good for Indiana.
Ishbia normally off the bench to signify a game in the back pockets of the Spartans, but the senior will get in as Ballinger will sit the last 33 seconds.
My proverbial human cigar.
Human victory cigar, Matt Ishbia.
Game decided, very much so decided with Jared Jeffries on the floor for sure. He takes a seat as his mother looks on.
14 points for Jared Jeffries. Odell makes it 65-54. Rebounded by Bograkis. Quickly underneath to Allen Anderson. And it is a timeout, 24.3 seconds. So Indiana will win its 20th for the second year in a row, and Mike Davis becomes the first Indiana coach to win 20 in his first 2 seasons. They will wait for the winner of our next game, Wisconsin, Iowa. Wisconsin, the top seed. And they come in with 6 straight wins, their first Big Ten title in 55 years. But they take on the defending tournament champions, who found a whole new level yesterday in putting Purdue out of the tournament in their home state, 87-72.
The thing you're looking at with Iowa, and if you're Wisconsin, is which team are you going to play against? Because the Iowa team that played yesterday was infinitely better than any that they had in terms of play over the previous, the earlier part of the year. So I think Steve Wofford's got his group playing right, if you will, at the right time.
Well, a story folks have been following in the Bloomington area involves women's coach Kathy Bennett, involved in a very serious car accident. But she's been a rallying point for her inspired Hoosier team. A few days ago, heavy underdogs, but they upset Iowa, Purdue, and Penn State, and they won the Big Ten women's tournament. And they get the automatic bid to the women's NCAAs, which you can follow on ESPN beginning next weekend. 24 seconds, fly pattern, Moyer.
Lost control of it. Also, a lot of people from Indiana University used to have Bob Hamill, who was a reporter, and a big part of what went on at Indiana University collapsed yesterday, and I'm sure all of them like to know that he was in the hospital in Kansas City, Missouri, but he is doing better. He had a reaction to his diabetic condition, but he's doing better.
Fans now officially counting this in the win column for Indiana. Moyer called for traveling.
After violation, you're not allowed to move.
That's one of the most easily forgotten rules in the book, especially on the baseline. People forget.
Especially when you're up 11 with 13 seconds to go. Man, it's just lack of concentration there.
Bench is cleared. Ryan Tapak, Mark Johnson in for the final 9 seconds of this quarterfinal victory. And Moye call for the foul with 6.6 seconds. Indiana will advance. Michigan State will wait and see where they're seated. In the first round, 2 of the 3 games were won by the lower seed. And nothing very close yesterday. Average margin was 17. Blanchard had the game of the year for Michigan. By far his season best, 26-point total. And Dusty Rucker at 23 for Minnesota.
Blanchard gave his team a lot of confidence.
Bograkis' try is short at the buzzer, and Indiana wins its second of 3 meetings against Tom Izzo's 4-time defending Big Ten champions. They are knocked out of the quarterfinals 67-56. Championship Week update presented by 7-Up coming up next. Again, our final, Indiana 67, the Spartans 56. For Quinn Buckner, Dave Barnett, so long for now. From Indianapolis, coming up will be Iowa taking on Wisconsin. Now back to the studio.